Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Your Football Predictions, the series where you guys go up against me to see who can get the most correct predictions for the upcoming weekend of Premier League games. But before we get on to this weekend, let's take a look at my predictions from what was the first weekend back of Premier League football. Been looking forward to this for a good few weeks, and I got no correct scores, so I do this predictions video every week and I just never seem to get any better. So 0 correct scores for me. I did get 4 correct outcomes. I was right that Arsenal would beat Fulham, that Liverpool would beat Leeds, that Leicester would beat West Brom, and that Chelsea would beat Brighton, but no actual correct scores. And as always, you guys did way better than me. We had 5 people who got 2 correct scores, which are this week's winners, and they are Matt, Alpha, Manish, Liam, and Jerome. So well done to all of you guys for getting 2 correct scores last week. And remember, if you want to be shouted out in my next predictions video, be sure to get your predictions for this weekend's Premier League games down in the comments below. As always, I will go through all of your predictions and shout out the winner in the next predictions video. Alright, but before you put those predictions down in the comments, let's take a quick run through the games for this weekend. The first Premier League game of the weekend is on Saturday. It's at 12:30 and it's on BT Sport, and it is Everton taking on West Brom. So Everton got off to a fantastic start to the season after beating Spurs 1-0, which included a Calvert-Lewin goal. They are obviously wanting him to be the man to bag them the goals this season, try and improve on what they did last season, and they've got off to a good start. And Everton actually have a pretty decent set of fixtures to start the season, so they're going to be hoping that they can keep that momentum going. They do actually play tonight as well against Salford in the League Cup, so bear that in mind. Who knows what's going to happen there. And as I mentioned, they are playing West Brom. Now, West Brom, promoted side, did not have the dream start they would have hoped for in their first game after losing 3-0 to Leicester. I mentioned Everton's opening fixtures are pretty decent. Unfortunately, West Brom's aren't. They have got some tough fixtures, starting off with Leicester, now against Everton. West Brom actually play tonight in the League Cup as well against Harrogate Town. So I would say both teams there are favourites to go through in the League Cup. Maybe if West Brom are able to get a win tonight, that might give themselves a little bit of confidence moving the weekend. But I have backed the team who won their opening game. I've gone Everton to win 2-0. Next up, again on the Saturday, again on BT Sport, but at 3 o'clock, we have got Leeds taking on Fulham. So 2 promoted sides, 2 teams who both lost their opening fixture at the weekend. Leeds lost 4-3 against Liverpool. I think they will feel a bit disappointed that they did come away with nothing from that game. They could have well earned themselves a point or even a win. You know, they got 3 goals in against the champions. So despite losing, I think we'll still carry some confidence into the game against Fulham. And then as for Fulham, they lost 3-0 against Arsenal. Didn't quite see as much from them as we did Leeds against Liverpool. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Both of them actually play in the League Cup tonight. Leeds play against Hull, Fulham play against Ipswich. So again, would say both of those teams are the favourites going in to their League Cup fixtures. Maybe Fulham can pull a bit of confidence back with a win tonight before going into the weekend. As I say, 2 promoted sides, both lost their opening fixture, but I think we saw a bit more from Leeds. So I have backed Leeds to win 2-1. But maybe this is Fulham's chance to fight back. Fulham didn't have Mitro on against Arsenal. Maybe they will against Leeds. And I was surprised they didn't play him against Arsenal, to be honest, because he's the man who got the goals in the Championship. So maybe he could do it this weekend against Leeds. Next up again on the Saturday, but at 5:30 and on Sky, we have got Manchester United taking on Crystal Palace. So I haven't actually got a huge amount to say about Manchester United because we haven't seen them yet. They didn't feature in the opening round of the Premier League and they are automatically through to the third round of the League Cup already. So their first game will be Crystal Palace this Saturday. Be interesting to see how they come back after an extended break. So will the extra rest help them in this game, or will the lack of match fitness affect them in this game? Who knows? As for Crystal Palace, they did win their opening game of the season against Southampton 1-0, but they also lost their League Cup tie last night against Bournemouth on penalties 11-10. It went all the way through the goalkeepers and had to start again before they found a winner. So, hard luck for Crystal Palace in that one. As I say, can Crystal Palace use the extra game time together to their advantage, or will Man U, after that break, having played 2 less games in a week, have that energetic edge? I have backed Man U to win 2-0, but I backed Southampton in the Crystal Palace game last weekend, and Crystal Palace won, so maybe we could be in for a surprise. Next up again on the Saturday, but at 8 o'clock, and again on Sky, we have got Arsenal taking on West Ham. So a very good start to the season for Arsenal and Arteta with their win over Fulham in the first game. And Aubameyang got on the score sheet. They are going to be looking at him to be grabbing the goals this season. And he's got started in a good way. Very nice goal, to be fair. And then for West Ham, they didn't get off to a great start, losing 2-0 to Newcastle. The pre-season wasn't great for West Ham, with all the players falling out with the board and Mark Noble tweeting because a player got sold that he wasn't happy with. So, I mean, it wasn't a great start, and then to go and lose 2-0 to Newcastle. But they did win their League Cup game last night, 3-0 against Charlton. So maybe that might ignite a bit of confidence, a bit of fire for the players moving in to the Arsenal game. So, as I say, Arsenal did look good against Fulham. West Ham didn't against Newcastle, and I've kind of taken that on, and I've gone for a 2-0 Arsenal win. Aubameyang looked good. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored again. But maybe with the midweek win for West Ham, a bit of confidence, a bit of fight for them this weekend. Moving on to the Sunday now. First game at 12 o'clock on BT Sport. We have got Southampton taking on Spurs. So as I mentioned, Southampton didn't have a great start, losing against Crystal Palace in their first game. Again, Southampton finished the season fantastically well last season when Danny Ings came into his own and started scoring goals. He wasn't able to get a goal at the weekend, so I'm sure he will want to start getting some goals on the board as soon as possible. They also play Brentford tonight in the League Cup, so I have to see what happens there. In terms of Spurs, they also lost their opening game, as I mentioned, against Everton. So we've got 2 teams here who both lost their opening game. Spurs don't have a League Cup game. They are automatically through to the next round. And I don't really know what's going on with Spurs at the minute. Obviously the documentary's out at the minute. I'm really enjoying that, to be fair. How that affects this game, I don't think it does. You know what, I've already wrote my prediction down, and I have backed Spurs to win 1-0. But, you know what, if Southampton get an early goal, I could see it going the other way as well. Let me know what you think down below. Next up, again on the Sunday, but at 2 o'clock and on Sky, we have got Newcastle taking on Brighton. So, Newcastle, as I mentioned, started their season well with the win over West Ham, and then were able to follow that up with a win over Blackburn in the League Cup last night. I mentioned in my video, I watched the game against Blackburn last night. I thought Newcastle looked okay. I thought we looked much better against West Ham. 10 changes going in to the Blackburn game, and I think a lot of teams will be making changes to try and keep the squad fresh for these League Cup games before going into the next Premier League game. But 2 wins in 2, regardless of the performance, you can't complain. And then as for Brighton, they didn't have a good start, losing 3-0 against Chelsea in their opening game. And they play Portsmouth tomorrow in their League Cup fixture. So, Newcastle-Brighton is not often a very good game or a very exciting game. It's quite often a horrible 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw. And if that was the case this weekend, it wouldn't be surprising. But after Newcastle's decent start against West Ham, hopefully Wilson will have his shooting boots on again. I've gone for a narrow 1-0 win to Newcastle. Next up again on the Sunday, but at 4:30 on Sky, we have got Chelsea taking on Liverpool. So neither of these teams have League Cup games. They're both automatically through to the next round, but both did play at the weekend and both won at the weekend. Chelsea beat Brighton, Liverpool beat Leeds. So two teams have both got started in a good way. Liverpool scored 4 goals, Chelsea scored 3 goals, but both teams conceded as well. So are we looking at a repeat this weekend? Goals galore for both teams? I think it could well be, to be honest. It's definitely going to be an exciting one. And because of that, I've pretty much backed what I've said. I've gone 2-2, which might be sitting on the fence a little bit, but we saw Salah getting his goals. Werner didn't grab one in his opening game for Chelsea, but I'm sure he'll want to get one in this game. So, anyone's guess here. I've gone 2-2. Next up again on the Sunday, but at 7 o'clock and on BBC. So if you don't have Sky, you don't have BT, this is a game you can watch. We have got Leicester taking on Burnley. So as I mentioned, Leicester got off to a great start with their win over West Brom, and Burnley did not feature in the opening round of the Premier League, but play their League Cup game tomorrow night against Sheffield United. So although you would say Burnley didn't play in the opening round, so they get a longer rest, they actually don't, because they have to play their League Cup game tomorrow night and then take on Leicester on Sunday. And Leicester don't have a League Cup game. They're another team that's automatically been put through into the third round. So maybe we need to see how Burnley do tomorrow night against Sheffield United before we decide our predictions for the weekend. But at the same time, I think, like most teams, Burnley will probably not be playing the same starting 11 as they will have at the weekend. So it's a bit of a in the dark. It's the same with the Man U game. We've not seen them yet. What's the prediction going to be? Leicester look decent. Vardy got a goal. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester win. Moving on to the Monday night at 6 o'clock on Sky, we have got Villa taking on Sheffield United. So Villa, another team that we didn't see in the first game week of the Premier League, but we did see them last night when they beat Burton 3-1 in the League Cup. As for Sheffield United, they started their season off against Wolves and lost 2-0. You know what big up Wolves, but I was surprised by. I thought it could well be a draw. That game, Wolves have lost Doherty, have had some defensive injuries, but were still able to go up and beat Sheffield United 2-0. And Sheffield United also play tomorrow night, as I mentioned, against Burnley in the League Cup, which again I don't think is going to be an easy fixture either. So Sheffield United have had 2 tough fixtures to come up, and then now going away to Villa could well be another tough one. So I've sat on the fence a bit. I've gone 1-1. Villa didn't play in the opening week, but won their League Cup game, moving into the first. For them, it's their first Premier League game of the season. They're going to be well up for it, confident after a League Cup win. Whereas Sheffield United lost against Wolves. We don't know what's going to happen with Burnley, so I've just gone 1-1. And to finish things off, again on Monday night, but at 8:15 and on Sky, we have got Wolves taking on Man City. So I mentioned it, Wolves had their great start of the season at the weekend when they beat Sheffield United. And then they also have a League Cup game tomorrow night against Stoke. As for Man City, again, it's hard to comment because they did not feature in the opening weekend of the Premier League. And they are another team that's automatically through to the next round of the League Cup. So Wolves have had to play a tough game against Sheffield United. No doubt we'll play another tough game tomorrow night against Stoke, and then go into Man City on the Monday night. Man City are sat at home, probably watching them on the telly. So, what's more beneficial, an extra week rest, or having 2 weeks extra match practice, match fitness? You know, it's quite hard to say. But, despite having not seen Man City yet, I did mention Wolves have had a couple of defensive injuries or players going. Although Wolves are a very good side. It would not surprise me if Wolves pulled something off here, but I'm going to back the favourite and I'm going to go 2-1 to Man City. And that is it, guys. So those are all of my predictions up there for this weekend's Premier League games. As I say, be sure to get your predictions down in the comments for all of these games before the games kick off. So the first game is at 12:30 on Saturday. So at 12:20, 12:25, I will make a note of all of your predictions. We'll go through them and shout out the winner in my video next week when we take a look at the next week of Premier League fixtures. Alright guys, thank you for watching as always. Be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying these prediction videos, and be sure to subscribe with the notification bell on if you want to be alerted every week when I release the new prediction video. But as always, have a good one, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.